Hey guys, this is God of Politics. I'm going to a brand new video, but before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But in today's video, I did want to talk about a very historic event that has just happened. This will be a short video, but it is a very historic event. I'm about an hour late to it. It just happened about an hour ago, and I am now recording this video talking about it because it is very, very important. And that is that the U.S. House of Representatives has impeached President Trump for a second time. Now, most of you will probably know about a year ago, just over a year ago around, the House of Representatives impeached Donald Trump for abuse of power and I believe obstruction of justice, something like that. Obstruction of Congress, I believe it was. But the Senate trial ended up having Trump getting acquitted. There was 48 votes in favor and 52 votes against for one article, and then 47 in favor, 53 against for the other article. But now we have a situation where the House has impeached President Trump for, quote, incitement of insurrection is what the article's called, and 10 Republicans supported it. 10 Republicans voted to impeach President Trump. Now, this is very, very crazy to see because you can see that 232 people overall voted to impeach President Trump. 197 voted against, 4 did not vote, and we have 2 members of Congress, or 2 races that have not, do not have people yet. You have Luke Letlow in Louisiana, who unfortunately died due to COVID, and you have New York's 22nd District, who's, somehow still not decided between Anthony Brindisi and Claudia Tenney. Maybe I'll make a video about that because that situation is just a mess, but that's beside the point. We did have, I believe, 429 votes. We had 429 votes, and we can see that 232 yes, 197 no. All Democrats voted yes for it. There was some talk saying, Andy Kim would vote against it. I believe Kurt Schrader would vote against it, but no, they ended up voting yes for it. All the Democrats that are in the House voted, all 222 of them, a slight majority, especially compared to the 116th Congress, but it is still majority nonetheless. And you did have 10 Republicans that switched over and voted yes for the impeachment. Some of these in Biden districts and close districts, some of these in safe Republican districts. One in the most safe Republican district, actually not the most safe, but the most safe state in terms of a statewide, which is Liz Cheney, which I'll talk about. But 197 Republicans voted against. So, you only had about 5% of Republicans vote for it, but that is still crucial because, that's more than in the last Trump impeachment where no Republicans in the House voted for it. And it's also more than the Clinton impeachment where I believe you only had about 5 Democrats that voted for one of the articles at the most. And so that's, very crazy to see that we've had Donald Trump. He's the first president to ever be impeached twice. So it says the House on Wednesday impeached President Trump for inciting a violent insurrection against the United States government as 10 members of the president's party joined Democrats to charge him with high crimes and misdemeanors for an unprecedented second time. Now, we've only had 4 impeachments ever. Half of them have been of Donald Trump. The other one was Bill Clinton, and then the other one was also Andrew Johnson way back in, I believe, 1867. So that was quite a long time ago. But it also says, reconvening under the threat of continued violence and the protection of thousands of National Guard troops, the House was determined to hold Mr. Trump to account just 1 week before he was to leave office. At issue was his role in encouraging a mob that attacked the Capitol 1 week ago while Congress met to affirm President-elect Joseph R. Biden Jr.'s victory, forcing lawmakers to flee for their lives in a deadly rampage. The House adopted a single article of impeachment, voting 232 to 197 to charge Mr. Trump with, quote, inciting violence against the government of the United States and requesting his immediate removal from office and disqualification from ever holding one again. So this is what's crucial here, and that is that if in the Senate trial there is a conviction of President Trump, Trump will have already left office by then. The Senate is not coming back into session until January 19th, and there is a laid out schedule in the Constitution for impeachment, which is 6 days a week starting at 1 p.m., which does hinder the ability of the Senate to conduct normal business if Joe Biden wants to get his cabinet nominees through, if he wants to get COVID relief, but that's beside the point. I'll talk about that as well. But what is crucial is that if there is a conviction, a 2/3 vote in the Senate to convict Trump, after that, they can do a vote which requires just a simple majority, and if a simple majority is reached, President Trump would be banned from ever holding office again. So a lot of people have been talking about, could Trump run in 2024 and pull a Grover Cleveland who served non-consecutive terms, and could he come back and beat Joe Biden or Kamala Harris? But That could not happen if President Trump is barred from running for office again. Mitch McConnell was asked today, are you going to vote to convict President Trump? And Mitch McConnell did not give a straight answer. If Mitch McConnell votes to convict President Trump, that is really going to open the water gates. And a lot of Republicans at that point, I believe, would vote to convict President Trump. I believe there'd be at least 5 Republicans at this point who have really said or would be leaning in favor of convicting President Trump. That includes Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Pat Toomey, Mitt Romney, and Ben Sasse. That would put up to 55 senators in favor and convicting the president. But speaking of the House and the vote that has just occurred, it says, of course, that 10 Republicans joined Democrats in voting to impeach Representative Liz Cheney of Wyoming. Now, this is a very crazy one because Wyoming, at a statewide total, is the most Republican state, even more Republican than states like West Virginia, Idaho, those kinds of states. And she's in a very safe district, and Liz Cheney is also the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney, which says she is also the party's number 3 leader in the House. Jamie Herrera Buehler of Washington, she's in a district that Biden only lost by 3 percentage points, so that does kind of make sense. What also makes sense is John Katko of New York. Biden won his district by 9 percentage points. You could say, back in 2014, he won by 20 percentage points against an incumbent in a very good year for Democrats in a district that Barack Obama in 2012 won by 16 percentage points. So it was a year that was very good for Republicans, and he stuck around. He won by a very large margin this time, despite the fact that Biden won by 9 percentage points, but he still did take a vote where he went on to the Democratic side. You also have Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, who has been very critical of President Trump recently. A lot of Republicans have been upset at him, and he has been putting a lot of criticism on President Trump. Fred Upton of Michigan. We also have Peter Maher of Michigan, 2 Republicans from Michigan, which is quite interesting. Dan Newhouse of Washington, who's in a district that Trump won by 19 percentage points this election. You also had Anthony Gonzalez of Ohio, David Valado of California, which is a district that Biden won by around, above 10 percentage points. I'm not sure the exact number in the 2020 election, but Hillary won it by like 20 or like 16 percentage points. Some huge number. I'm not sure of the exact number, but it was a huge number. And Tom Rice of South Carolina. This is very interesting because Tom Rice is in a safe district in South Carolina, and, he still voted to convict President Trump. It says the defections were a remarkable break from the head of the party by Republicans who voted unanimously against impeaching President Trump just over a year ago. Now, if this were before the election, I don't think you would have had any Republicans voting for it. I mean, you can also question, would there have been an attack on the Capitol before the election? That's, beside the point. But if there was an impeachment vote before the election, I don't think Republicans would have voted yes because it, breaks their unity that they really do want. But at this point, they've lost the Senate, they've lost the presidency, they do not have the House. Maybe this is now a time for them to really themselves from Trump. From President Trump, and he is going to vote to convict him. Again, I did point out today that he said that he is not sure what he will do, but if he does vote to convict, that would be very, very crucial, especially considering that he is the leader of Republicans in the House. And even in the Senate, and even in the House, Kevin McCarthy, the leader of the GOP in the House, was very critical of President Trump. And while he didn't vote to impeach President Trump, he was very critical of President Trump. So that could be a sign that many Republicans are trying to distance themselves from Trump. But will that make him upset about the voters? Well, you see a lot of primary challenges of these Republicans that have voted in favor of impeaching the president. That is what we will have to see, and that is what is going to be very interesting. I think that if there was less of a threat of getting a primary challenge, a lot more Republicans would have voted in favor of this. Maybe if it was a more thought out process, which is kind of difficult considering that there's only a week left in the administration. But there's a lot of situations where I think more Republicans would have voted for it, but 10 Republicans is pretty significant regardless. So I did just want to talk about this event because it is very historic. This is a shorter video and I am making it a little bit late. Most of you have probably heard the news by now. But I did still want to talk about it because it is very, very important. We will now have a Senate trial, which I will also talk about when it does happen. But yeah, so thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.